Hey, what's going on everybody? It's Wilhelm Scream, and welcome back to another day in Destiny 2 for some more Destiny 2 news and Season of Arrivals, soon to be Beyond Light intel. And in this video, I'm going to be taking you through a method to get a 100k or platinum score in this week's Nightfall Ordeal. This is also viable if you're trying to do the Grandmaster 1100 power Nightfall Ordeal. This week is, of course, the Lake of Shadows strike, which is an oldie but a goodie. The best farm possibly for exotic loot currently as far as strikes go is to do the Lake of Shadows Nightfall Ordeal. And this week it is double rewards. So right now in the world of Destiny, if you are not taking advantage of this particular strike and farm, then you are losing out majorly. And with the end of the season approaching, you're going to want to take every advantage you can to farm things like the Nightfall Ordeal when it offers such an easy strike like the Lake of Shadows, as exotics are just being given away. Also, Ascendant Shards and all other materials that you need to masterwork your gear. And in accordance with everything we do on this channel as far as glitches, cheeses, and exploits, we will be showing you, of course, a God mode glitch, an entire section skip, which requires you to actually exit the map, and a cheese for the boss. These can be done solo, as I said, and if you're trying to do a Grandmaster solo or a 1080 solo, though I can't imagine why you would, maybe you just don't have a good group to run with, then these things are going to give you your only chance to actually complete this particular strike. I'm going to take you through all the information regarding everything we just mentioned in 1 second, but first I just want to remind everybody I'm still doing the giveaway on my YouTube channel. The next one will be at 50,000 subscribers, which is absolutely insane. All you have to do to be entered into that giveaway or any other giveaway on this YouTube channel is like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, turn on the notifications, the bell that's right next to the big red subscribe button, and follow me on Instagram or Twitter. They'll be linked in the description box down below. Also linked in the description box is our Discord channel associated with this particular YouTube channel. I encourage everybody to feel free and join up if you're looking for a group to do this week's Nightfall. Great group of people over there helping everybody out, growing by leaps and bounds all the time. So I encourage everyone to head on over there, as I said, if you are looking for a good group to run with and you're just having trouble. And as always, if you stick around to the end of the video, I'll have a secret word or hashtag that you can leave in the comments section to be entered into that giveaway a second time for this video. And remember, the secret hashtags, secret words, sometimes we do a trivia question. They stack between all videos, so if you haven't done that on a previous piece of content on this channel, go back, check out another video, and of course, why not do it again? Alright, so let's take you through every facet of this week's Nightfall Ordeal, which again, of course, is the Lake of Shadows. I love this strike, personally. It's by far the fastest strike. I think it's one of the strikes that people are the most familiar with, especially if you've been playing since vanilla Destiny. And regardless, if you're somebody new to the game, you're generally going to get linked up with somebody who has done every single in and out of this particular strike at least once. There's nothing really new, but there are some things that you want to know that even the most experienced player might not. And this is, of course, having to do with things like glitches and or skips to even make this strike, which again is one of the fastest, even quicker. So the first thing I want to take you through is a God mode glitch. Now, what does God mode mean? God mode means you're going to essentially have a super that doesn't wear out, and in accordance with supers, you will have all the power buffs available to you. So more health, more power when it comes to melee. So let's get into that first. Now, for this particular God mode, you're going to need the Bubble Titan. That's the only one that can actually do this. We've talked about this before in other videos, but I think this week, if you are a solo player or if you're doing this at Grandmaster, there's nothing better than this particular God Mode glitch. All you have to do is make your way to this point. It's a load zone right as you enter the actual Nightfall ordeal. Jump up onto this building. Now you're going to need lion ramparts to actually make your way through this particular jump. Head over in air to the load zone and then activate your bubble as you go through the load zone. It might take some practice. A couple of things that I ran into that were problems was either not hitting the load zone in time or being stuck in the loading zone so long that I'd actually end up dying because I'd be out of zone. The game would actually trigger the out of zone kill barrier and I would end up dying before I could take full advantage of it. So you want to be low enough and far enough to actually trigger your bubble while in the air and dropping through the load zone. Another thing is if you're on PC, you have to make sure that you're set to 30 frames per second. Otherwise, you will get through the load zone too quickly. So drop your frame rate down to 30 frames as you would on console. Console should have no problem doing this, and you'll still be able to trigger this load zone glitch. On console, you probably won't have a problem regardless, just because load zones are so slow already. But again, you're going to need lion ramparts. Simply make your way over to that load zone, hit the bubble while you're in the air, and in the process of dropping, you should hit the load zone, and then you'll freeze in place as you saw me do, and by the time you land, you will have God Mode. What that means is you essentially get all the buffs associated with the bubble as you were in the bubble, yet now you can roam around, and you'll know because your footprints will glow purple. That's the cue to knowing that you've actually been able to accomplish this. Not only will you make it through the load zone and land, the bubble won't spawn and you'll have purple footprints. The benefit of doing this in this strike is that there aren't any areas where you need to cue some sort of artifact carry or place it somewhere to actually advance. You just need to kill enemies. And that's why you can actually use this particular God Mode all the way to the end. And it's going to come in handy. If you're doing this solo at 1080 or even 1050 and above, this is your only chance, in my opinion, to really make this any easier for yourself if you're just the common player. If you're crazy in PvE, you're just that good, then maybe you can get through this by using a couple of very slow methods. But if you want to quicken up your process, or if you're just the casual player, I really don't think that anybody's going to have a better chance of getting through this solo than with this particular method. Another thing to keep a lookout for in this room is the blights. Now obviously we have to destroy the blights to advance to the next section, but you can actually clear out all the ads before you take out the blight so that you don't get the added ads of the blight being destroyed. Added ads, I know. But regardless, if you destroy the blight before you clear every ad in this room, you will just get more. So why not clear them all out, then take out the blights? I would actually clear all the enemies out before you even destroy the first blight. So you can have the 3 at the end, and then you just kill the few remaining enemies that will spawn. It makes that whole process a lot easier. So that's it for the God Mode glitch. Now the next glitch that I want to share with you guys will be once you get to this particular section. This is the section where you actually go out over the ledge or the waterfall. In my opinion, this is probably the hardest area to get through because you're sort of bottlenecked. You can only really go one way, and you have snipers shooting at you the whole time, as well as having Unstoppable and Overload champions just being able to have their way with you any particular way you want. There's going to be several sections where you have to kind of jump into the map just to get out of the way. It can become a hassle. So there is a way to get around this entirely. Head back once you've cleared out that last section and you've actually killed the first 2 Unstoppable champions at the bottom. You have to get through to that point. You have to make sure that the Unstoppable champions actually spawn. Then make your way over to this area, this particular gate. Hop off your Sparrow, and then you can get out of the map into the area you see us in right here. Now this is because in the Lake of Shadows, you can of course spawn your Sparrow, and you have to run back. You won't be able to spawn it in that area, but if you run back to the last checkpoint, you can spawn your sparrow, and then using the sparrow through wall trick, which is simply just parking your sparrow right next to a particular kind of wall, most notably these kind of grate areas, and dismounting, and then you can get out of the map that way. This works at a lot of different places, but no place is better than right here. So make your way out of the map, then head up to the section that we're showing you right now. Big shout out to my buddy Sinister for supplying me with this footage. We were doing this together, but he can record in much better quality than I can. So big shout out to him. I'm going to link, he does have a YouTube channel. He does some live streams occasionally down in the description box. But Sinister, one of the leading members of the Iron Lord podcast clan as far as PvE goes that I'm in, always carries me through everything, so thanks to him. But essentially head up onto this roof and fall through that skylight that you just saw. Now, a couple of things about that particular section is that you want to actually sort of leap over the roof and fall directly through the skylight from the floor. You don't want to actually jump up on the edge, because then you won't be able to get through. So what you actually want to do is from the floor sort of figure out where the hole actually is on top, and then just hop up from the ground right directly through while you're in the air. So actually never land on the top of the skylight, just fall directly through it. It'll take some practice, but you'll get used to it, and that lets you basically skip that entire section. That is the waterfall section. You can go back and kill all the ads in that area as far as Unstoppable and Overload champions if you want, for a platinum score, though you don't have to. All you have to do is go back and kill the knight at the very end, the one that has the solar shield. Once that knight is dead, you'll be able to advance into the next section. Now, just by triggering this, the ads in the next section will spawn. But don't let that confuse you, because you'll not be able to actually enter the boss room until you kill that solar knight. So kill the solar knight, then you don't have to worry about any of the other ads in the waterfall section. You can advance forward into the next room. If you want to go back and kill the Overload champions and the Unstoppable champions on the bridge, you can, but again, if you're just trying to do quick runs, you don't have to. Just simply glitch through the roof, land in this section, spawn the knight, and then continue forward. You'll know you didn't kill the knight if you get to the boss room and as you run in, you just automatically die. That's what happens if you don't do it. The other reason why you have to kill the 2 Unstoppable champions before the bridge is you have to actually queue the bridge ads to spawn. You can actually just get through the glitch and jump that whole section altogether, but if you do that, then the ads in this section won't spawn and you won't be able to advance any further anyway. So that's going to be it for most of the glitches here. The next thing that we're going to be sharing with you is a cheese spot. That is for the boss, again, if you're doing it solo. So I'll get back to you when the video reaches that point. Just continue watching the playthrough, and once we reach the end, we'll share with you the actual cheese spot. So for the actual boss fight, several things that I would recommend. Everybody should have a sword. Falling Guillotine is probably the best option. Bring a well or a bubble or a tether or all three, or at least two of the three, but one definitely will be necessary. And then just nuke the boss. Everybody throw it to the middle, plant a well, use Divinity if you have it. I was using the Falling Guillotine. I was using a hand cannon with Arc and Unstoppable. We had a teammate using a hand cannon with Solar and Overload. And we had a buddy using Divinity, our buddy Sin, as you can see. So obviously if you're doing this as in a group, fairly easy nuke. I think even at 1100, 1080 was no problem. But if you're doing it solo, what you'll want to do at the very end, or excuse me, as soon as you enter into the actual room with the boss, before you actually trigger the boss, or directly after triggering the boss, excuse me, is make your way up to this area. This is if you're doing it solo, or if you're doing it with less than 3 people, and onto this ledge. You can do damage to the boss up there. There's no death barrier, and you can actually avoid most of the boss damage. Outside of that, you're definitely going to want to bring all those things that I just mentioned, either a well or a bubble or a tether. Being in God mode will probably save you a lot of trouble if you can do that correctly. And once you're up there in God mode, I really don't think the boss will be able to kill you. So just a battle of attrition. Take your time. Bring a sniper rifle or something with long range, as Falling Guillotine won't be a great option at that point, but maybe Wither Horde would be a better option, as that'll help with some ad control. But that's going to be it for all the information in today's video. So thank you all so much for watching. And for the secret word today, leave a Sinister in the comment section, as that's who supplied all the footage that you're seeing right here. So big shout out to him. Big shout out to the Iron Lords podcast. Gonna leave a link to their YouTube channel down below. They do a great gaming podcast every Sunday, and other game reveals or content reveals or console reveals. I think they are going to be covering everything that PS4 and Xbox does over the next few months, as it should get pretty exciting. Or you can leave a hashtag Season of Arrivals or a hashtag Beyond Light down in the comment section. And as always, I am Wilhelm Scream. Thank you all so much for watching. And of course, we will see you in the next video. Little.